WIBTA, if I say my stepsister cannot be my bridesmaid again after she begged me to reconsider? I 27F asked my sister 26F to be my only bridesmaid maid of honor. We're so close that she's the only person I want to have as a bridesmaid. But we have a stepsister, Leah 24F, and Leah wants to be a bridesmaid too. My mom married Leah's dad when I was 10 and Leah was 7. My parents were divorced and Leah's parents were not together either, but she didn't have any contact with her mom while my sister and I primarily lived with our dad. When we were at mom's, neither my sister or I were close to Leah. I found Leah really annoying and she never grew on me. I know she was younger, and being an only child with no mom in her life, she might have wanted a bigger family, and she probably looked up to my sister and me. But I found her very clingy and whiny, and my mom and Leah's dad did not help because she could whine and we had to include her, or if she annoyed them, generally she would be dumped on us and we were told we needed to spend time together. Leah used to say she had 2 sisters, but we never called her our sister. Leah used to want to come to Dad's house with us, but we always said no. We never asked Dad to invite Leah to our house, and he threw most of our birthday parties, and we didn't invite Leah to them. I really didn't see or speak to Leah more than twice a year by the time I was 17, because I chose to live with my dad and cut way back on time with my mom. I was always civil to Leah when I did see her, and I wouldn't ignore her if we were in the same place. But do I call or make plans with her? Nope. My relationship with my mom did get a little closer in the last couple of years, so we talk more and see each other more. I think this is what led to such a big fallout and pressure for the bridesmaid thing. I got engaged several months ago. I called and told my mom. I have seen her since getting engaged as well. I went to my mom's house last week for coffee and Leah came in with her dad. She told me she heard I got engaged and she asked if she could be a bridesmaid, and I said no. She went into pleading mode and told me she knows I don't really want her there, but she would still love to be a bridesmaid, and how she always wanted to be part of mine and my sister's lives in a bigger way, and she always wanted to be a sister to us. She said that might not happen, but it would make her whole year if she could be my bridesmaid. She emphasized again how much this mattered to her. I was going to say my answer had not changed, but she told me to really think about it and give it some time, and then my mom interrupted before I got the chance to say I was not changing my mind, and she told me it would be kind for me to include Leah, because Leah has always made an effort to have a relationship, which is true, though she went about it in the wrong way most of the time. Leah's dad then decided to add that my sister and I were unfair to Leah for 17 years, and the least I could do is let her in now that I'm old enough to get married. WIBTA, if I say no again? First comment, NTA, your wedding, your choice. She told me she heard I got engaged, and she asked if she could be a bridesmaid, and I said no. She went into pleading mode and told me she knows I don't really want her there, but she would still love to be a bridesmaid, and how she always wanted to be part of mine and my sister's lives in a bigger way, and she always wanted to be a sister to us. She said that might not happen, but it would make her whole year if she could be my bridesmaid. She emphasized again how much this mattered to her. I was going to say my answer had not changed, but she told me to really think about it and give it some time, and then my mom interrupted before I got the chance to say I was not changing my mind, and she told me it would be kind for me to include Leah. A relationship, which is true, though she went about it in the wrong way most of the time. Leah's dad then decided to add that my sister and I were unfair to Leah for 17 years, and the least I could do is let her in now that I'm old enough to get married. Your mom and Leah's dad are massive ones though. If they had not tried to force a relationship between you, your sister and Leah, you might have developed one. Second comment, but it doesn't sound like Leah has op in her heart. She has the idea of what she wants in a sister, an idea of a relationship, but nothing suggests any of it is actually about loving or liking op or her other sister as individuals. When she was a kid, that wasn't her fault. This is really the mom and stepdad's faults for not actually doing any work to blend their family or help their kids develop healthy relationships with each other. But now she's an adult with no real relationship with op, pleading and begging to be a bridesmaid, not because she is interested in op as a person. She even says she knows op doesn't want her to be a bridesmaid, but continues asking to be because it's what she wants, but because she sees it as a way to have, or at least appear to have, this imaginary ideal relationship with the blank slate of any sister figure. She's made plain she's not interested in what op actually wants, and she's not made any effort to develop any other adult relationship the way the post reads, and with Leah's dad's comment, it sounds like neither of them has really been in much contact for the last 10 years, and that's fine for both of them. Neither has to have that relationship. But Leah's the one asking op to do something Leah wants. Leah's starting off here by asking and repeatedly pushing for something usually reserved for people who are extremely close to the couple getting married, which would involve op spending significant time on her wedding day around Leah, because it fits into Leah's fantasy of a relationship that doesn't exist. I'm sympathetic to her desire to be close to her stepsisters as a child and a teenager, and to mourning that that didn't happen as an adult, especially since the parents seem to be very much at fault for how things went when these women were kids. But she is an adult now and old enough to understand that this is not an appropriate thing to continue pleading for and allowing her dad to guilt up over. Third comment, oh, get off your high horse. My sperm donor's second and third wives were never family to me. No, 2 was a shrieking harpy when she didn't get her way, and no, 3 bulldozed me to make me her mini-me. I'm talking throwing out most of my gender-neutral clothes, old jeans and typically gray or black t-shirts, and replacing it with girly girl shit, brightly colored blouses, dresses, skirts paired with flats and wedge heels, and the blouses were as look at me and my tits as one can manage in a professional setting. She made a stink when Mom gave me all of her old black concert shirts and a few pairs of jeans. Some blended families do turn out well. My stepdad is now my adoptive father and his sons are my brothers. I even have an amended birth certificate. But the way that happened is that Dad let the relationship build naturally. He is always able to talk me down when I go out of pocket, ties him PTSD, and he gives the best hugs, ISTG. Family being whoever is related to you by blood or marriage is a legal definition. In practicality, family is who you have developed a close relationship with, people who are there for you when the SAT hits the fan. That said, I've been hospitalized multiple times. Bio father never visited or called, but Dad was there every day even though he worked full-time with a 45-mile commute one way. Fourth comment, NTA. Not at all. One thing to keep in mind though, is that Mom is firmly on Leah's side, so will likely not only pressure you in person, text, and phone ... and through other family members ... She will drag Leah along to every wedding or wedding planning event that she, herself, is involved in or simply knows about. And plan for some drama at rehearsal, ceremony, or reception from Leah planning some big thing to either try to win you over or to call you out for not accepting her. You might be well placed to call Mom out straight up for her and stepdad's behavior and how they contributed to the current state of affairs by devaluing you and your sister and prioritizing Leah for the past 17 years ... and what that cost her in terms of relationship with you ... and what future cost it will have should any of them continue on the path they're on. Fifth comment, yeah, Mom and stepdad need to come to Jesus talk about how the reason Op and her sister don't have a relationship with Leah is because the two of them decided to get married, threw their kids together with no therapy or care or discussion about how to blend their families and how to adjust, and expected them to all be beloved sisters immediately. Maybe Op could have behaved better toward Leah as a child, but she was a child, and the blame for the situation ultimately rests with the adults who were charged with figuring out how to blend their families. It also sounds like maybe some other things happened with Mom and possibly stepdad's behavior that led to Op mostly living with her dad and eventually rarely seeing them even while still a kid, which would make it all the more egregious for them to be guilting her and pushing her on this now. It also sounds like Op and sister spend most time with their dad for the entire time Leah has been in their lives, and it's weird that Mom and stepdad expected these two kids to be independently making plans and developing a relationship with their stepsister with what sounds like zero actual effort to facilitate that or actually listen to the kids' desires and concerns from the parents.